This is Review Your Gear Radio with your hosts Chris Husted and Jason Renner. Coming to you with the latest topics, reviews, and techniques for hunting and fishing in the Midwest. And here they are, Chris and Jason. Take it away, boys.
Yo, Review Your Radio. I'm Chris Husted.
Jason Renner.
It is season 4, episode 1, and we're back.
Back?
That's it?
That's it. I don't know.
You just drew a blank, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like...
That's a heck of a start to a podcast, sir. Showing energy and blankness.
Hold on. Well, let me grab some Monster.
So, took a break. We're back, and let's catch up. The green machine is no more. My 2013 WX2190 Skeeter is gone. Yeah, gentleman from Michigan came and picked it up, 14-hour drive, and I'm at the moment boatless.
You are without a boat.
I have not been without a boat for even a minute in about 16, 17 years. So it's kind of weird, but it's okay because I got my eyes on something more to come on that.
Got your eye on the prize?
I may, but we'll save that fun news for when it all comes to fruition. So in the meantime, let's have Tales from the Chub Tank.
Tales from the Chub Tank.
I'm not going to lie. This was a very tough start to Chub season. Historically, we've always said that spring is definitely the toughest time, I've found. Outside of the winter, of course. But, I mean, during open water creek season, right away in the spring, it's kind of a mystery to me.
Like, you found them, but not in typical places.
No. What's interesting, hey, there's the dogs. That's just to let you know we're back in podcast form. No, I did not find them at our typical creek. I don't want to say they were void. I know they were there. I just think the creek that's kind of local is getting too much pressure.
Dun, dun, dun.
And we had to travel for our chubs. Now, I went to a creek that hasn't been that good the last couple of years due to the low water. And with all the rain runoff, snow runoff, whatever, it was running this year. And that's where we got all of our chubs for the Big Muddy. And
I got a huge tip about one, but the problem is it's over 100 miles away.
Oh, well.
I know. It's just like, but it's funny. It's like...
Is it east or west?
West.
Really?
Yes.
Usually going east is the more bountiful creeks. Usually.
Correct. But this one's a runoff, and I talked to somebody, and they've caught them for years out there, but it's a drive.
Well, 100 miles? Boy, I don't know.
Probably 111 to be exact.
Wow. Right now someone's pulling up Google Maps going west. Where'd that creek be? So, speaking of chubs, what's the best way to rig chubs? And I had it as a 2-question, best chub rods to boot.
Well, you see so many guys doing I almost call it Carolina rigging.
Okay.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's not really Lindy rigging because you're using... but I've seen more and more guys pulling with bottom bouncers.
I don't know if I'd want to do that.
Do you think that helps in getting them off the bottom a little bit?
Okay. This is why I don't like bottom bouncers. I'll give you 2 reasons. First of all, if you visualize what's going on the bottom, usually when you're fishing chubs, now there's the real argument is, should you feed line to chubs or should you just take it pretty much immediately? You see? So if you're going to take it immediately, then I think the bottom bouncer approach could work. It's just the second you have a fish start to show interest and you drop you let the line loose to feed them, your bottom bouncer is just going to fall on the ground, create a big cloud of dust. It's probably going to spook the fish.
Correct. You do have those bottom bouncers now with the slip through that you can.
Well, right, but
basically like
but still, when you have a bottom bouncer that's straight up and down, fall over in the water, it could spook the fish.
Correct.
I prefer to have the slide weight method, like you're talking about the Carolina rig, where it just slides in the creek chubs just along. And a lot of guys use too long of rigs of leaders on bottom bouncers, anyways. Because if you're using a 4-foot leader, guess where that chub is, anyways?
It's in the gravel.
Yeah, it's on the bottom. So what's the point of the? I don't know.
So here's.
Before I get in this,
okay.
The second approach is, I had a tournament a few years back where we were using the slide weights and circle hooks, and a guy right next to us. It was just 2 boats, us and another group. Were using bottom bouncers in chubs. It didn't go well for them. We could barely keep a chub in the water, and I think they might have gotten 1. So it was. Now, you tell me what was different. I mean, the presentation was different, but you're still feeding them the same bait. So what went wrong for them? I'm just saying. I mean, or was it just flat out luck? Like they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. But we were fishing side by side.
Correct.
On a hump.
You've been in the same ice house with somebody that's.
Yeah, I know, but
you got the same stuff.
There was a lot of fish down there, and they were on them too. They knew it. I could hear them even talking about seeing fish on the graph. They were going over them. They just weren't. Weren't picking them up.
Gotcha.
So that's with the rigs. Best chub rods. I'll be honest. If it wasn't for the fact they're $330, I would have one now, or $320 or whatever.
The JT snare.
The JT snare, 9 foot 2 inches. It looks like a noodle, but it's not. In the fact that it does still have some pretty good backbone to it, but it does load up beautifully for chubs.
The one thing I do like about that 7'6" Loomis I have is, again, it's got the tip, but it's got that big backbone.
Right.
You can feed them that tip, and even if you don't get back to that reel and feed them, that tip is soft enough to where it almost, like the snares and stuff, that's probably an early version of, the same blank. But I think anything that's, I think you need at least a 7-foot rod for those. I just feel like you need a medium light, kind of almost like a moderate taper.
Yep.
So it has some taper to it to have some give, and I think slip bobber, any kind of rod that's made for slip bobbering would work really well for chubs, and that's just my technical readout, I think, on rods for chubs. But my curiosity is, you're starting to see them more and more. They used to be popular on the saltwater side, but you're seeing them more up here, is reels with bait runner switch.
Right.
Where you just flip the switch and that free spools that out. And I don't know of any guys that are doing that, but I mean, that's got to be something, or not unless you got like one of those big 9-foot things where the whole rod's loading up until you think the fish has it.
But that's the key, though, because if the fish is loading up on a snare rod, I don't think you'd want to let that open that bail.
No, you want
it's already there.
Yeah.
So you just reel it in. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. By the DWC this summer, you may see a chub rod or 2 from GT in my possession. I'm not sponsoring anything, just saying it's a sweet rod. It's a nice look.
But if JT wants to send us one, we would take a couple.
If you're out there, Joe. I'm just kidding. But we will take it. So the new angle aerator is almost here.
So, little background. I know you kind of wrote an article for RYG that kind of bashed their aerators.
Well, I don't want to say I bashed it. That's the whole point of the article was not, in fact, to bash Angle. It was actually a glowing review about the Angle 30 quart for Chubs and bait, whatever.
Just their aerator was not up to snuff.
Okay, the aerator. I don't need to beat a dead horse. Anyone that's ever purchased an Angle and got one of their bubblers knows what I'm talking about. And it's very loud.
Touchy switch.
It's got a very touchy switch that in even a boat in boat waves can turn it off. And I've seen it, and I've almost lost all of our Chubs in a tournament. And that, I guarantee you, that was the last time an Angle ever was used in my boat. Now, as far as the bubbler,
yeah,
we would replace it typically with whatever on the market, but anything but the Angle. Now, they took note, and I'm not saying they took note, in fact, and changed their whole research and development based on a blog article, but obviously they're aware of their shortcomings of their aerators. They have a new one coming out, and it looks sweet. Now, keep in mind, it appears to me it's going to have a $49.99 price tag.
It's a little steep.
That's a pretty expensive aerator for a portable aerator.
Correct.
Not a plug-in one for an aquarium. I mean, this is a portable aerator.
But it is rechargeable.
It is rechargeable. The key is what's under the hood, really. I'm almost tempted to want to take it apart. And does it have the same little motor with plastic parts and stuff like the others? Or is it, is it gonna, or is a simple way to just beat the what out of it for a couple seasons and see if she still goes? It's supposed to have a really big battery, so it lasts a long time, 2 ports, yada yada yada. It seems like it's a legitimate.
So it sounds like they made it for even the biggest cooler they make. It's so
Right.
You think they'd step up the pump on it?
It should be actually. It's supposed to be here already, but imagine that our postal service is behind.
Hey, it's better than Canadian Post. I had some things said Canadian Post. God, that took forever.
What'd you order from Canada, eh?
Some downrigger parts.
Oh, those came from Canada.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The only way I could get them.
I did get 3 new rechargeable aerators for this spring. The brand is called Skywind, so it's just an off-brand. Got it on Amazon for $18 a piece.
Okay.
And so I thought that was a fair price. So far, I really like them. The thing I like the most about them, the battery. I literally have not had one die yet, and I pushed it darn near 18, 20 hours.
So what, pretty good charging system on it? I'm taking it.
It's just a mini USB.
Okay, still using mini instead of the USB-C.
Yeah, but either way, it works.
Correct.
Switching gears, let's talk about the lake levels on the Missouri River system and, of course, the good old Devil's Lake.
Well, good news is Devil's Lake's coming up.
Devil's Lake is up. I hear it's really dirty. All the water coming down through the... in fact, it's weird because Pelican Lake, if you're familiar with Devil's Lake, in the northwest part of the lake, there's a first lake going up the system is Pelican, very popular lake. It's dirty again. Now, in previous years, it was so crystal clear, you couldn't fish it like traditional methods. And when I say traditional methods, meaning pitching up into 1, 2, 3 feet of water. Because there's big fish hanging up there off the weeds. They're there. But when that water was crystal clear, guess what? They weren't. They just weren't there.
So the other thing that, fluctuations always bring in, we always talk about this, is this bringing extra nutrients? Is this going to give Because let's be honest, besides the Chamber of Commerce message that Devil's Lake is sending, it hasn't been as good as it's been in the past lately.
It depends who you talk to. Some people say the lake is still fantastic, but as a general nature, the walleye fishing's still there. The perch fishing is very hit and miss. So the
Correct.
winter time, the days of the 2-pound perch, no. You're not seeing 2-pound perch out of Devil's Lake.
But I just wonder if this influx of nutrients will charge up
It will.
population.
I guarantee you it's going to have, they're probably going to have a really good winter because, as you know, when you have all that going on down there, those perch grow fast.
Oh, God, yeah.
I
mean, big bodies, little heads. That's notorious.
I remember 20 years ago, when you go to Devil's Lake and drill a hole, you knew there was shrimp coming out of the hole.
Correct.
You have not seen that.
Well, and that's good. That's good for that system and good for tourism up there. And I look forward to seeing what that produces.
Now, the Missouri River system.
I have mixed emotions about this. I get why everybody's kind of the sky is falling with this, but it's not going to get as low as it did in '91. And I think again, it's another lake that I think needs to be drawn down a little bit and then come back and get some of those nutrients put back into the system. I mean, it's becoming clearer. I know the smelt population is what they consider old in the lake.
Yeah.
So,
but want a halfway decent runoff spring like we may have this year? May. I mean, just because we're getting moisture doesn't mean the lake is,
But it just needs to be even. What kills the smelt spawns and stuff like that
is all the runout
when they drop it down,
right?
Right. But I think it's good for the smelt population to have some new beds, new spawning ground available to it. So
I will admit I'm pretty ignorant to the smelt, but I mean I know how vital they are to Kakawea, but down in Oahe, on the other hand, a lot of skinny fish.
Well, it's. I think they're stunted. I think. God, what was it? What years was it? I'm trying to think. 2000s or something like that. That you had a lot of those fish were stunted during the low water because there was no food.
Right.
There was tons of little fish. I mean, you could go down there and. I mean, I think they even implemented a 7 fish limit in South Dakota for a while there. They wanted you to keep fish or something like that. But, but there's such a, there's small fish and then there's really, really nice fish.
Right.
And there's like nothing in between.
Right. Right. No, right now, catching a 20-inch walleye on the river or, in upper Oahe is not easy.
No. You can catch lots of fish in that 13 to 15 range, though. God, they're just loaded.
It's a little bit even closer to 12, but you're right. Right around that 12, 13, 14, there's a lot of them.
It's like Audubon back in the day.
Before
their forage issue solved.
Right. Well, let's move along to something a little more positive. Dakota Waters is going to be my second home this summer.
So I see they're renovating some stuff up there.
Yeah, Thomas, if you know Thomas, he runs the place along with Amber. They fixed up the cabins, they fixed up the store, they fixed up the cleaning station, they fixed up all the steps, and they're adding even more steps going down to the
low water.
Yeah. He's staying on top of it. So
well, and that's kind of key because you need to do the upkeep because that's
it's not like they weren't doing the upkeep. No. It's just you have so much going on, and it's hard to do projects during the season.
I think because the low water at Beaver Creek is a bumpy, muddy mess down there. I think Beulah Bay will be all right but that'll be interesting because is it the core of the county is accessing Renner Bay, Mercer County, McLean, I don't know, Southwest Water project. They're going to be doing work out of their pumping station on Beulah or on Renner Bay. So they're actually landing their stuff in Beulah Bay and running it over there. So how busy is that going to be? So how much pressure is that going to put on Dakota Waters?
Oh, it's going to be a busy landing.
So,
business is going to be good.
Business going to be good for Thomas up there.
Good
to see. I like to see that.
I do. I have around 4 weeks already booked up there. So it will literally be my second home.
Not like I'm partial to that area because, Renner Bay, but.
Yeah, right. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to spend a lot of time up there. The best part, I do not plan on packing socks for the month of end of June or July. No socks.
Oh, Captain Flip-Flop.
Captain Flip-Flop is right. So let me ask you, speaking of that, what's going to be the cocktail this summer? What's gonna be hot? It's funny because liquor in the last decade especially has been really trendy. Like right now, it seems like everyone's going crazy over the new Busch Light cans, right?
Oh, the John Deere cans?
Right.
Yeah, wow.
Obviously it doesn't change the flavor, it's just a can, but at the end of the day, it's something in the liquor world, and it's, people are buying it.
But it's genius. They change up that can and kind of have a special edition and kind of make it a thing. It's great marketing.
Oh, it's fantastic. They know. Do you think they're selling a lot of Busch Light in California? No, they're selling it in the Midwest.
The other thing is,
by the pallet.
Don't you remember when Busch was like, that was college beer, and now it's like the go-to for everybody our age.
Well, you know me. I don't like domestic beer.
Yeah.
I really don't like domestic beer at all. So if you want my honest opinion, sorry, Busch. Not a big fan. You're right. I drank it in high school, and when I got into college, it kind of went away, and I never brought it back.
I'm a Miller Lite guy. That's my beer.
To be fair, though, how often do you drink a Miller Lite?
I don't much.
Yeah, you don't drink domestics either.
I just don't. And when I do, I gotta put Clamato in it. That's kind of my thing.
So you can actually drink it because it's got no flavor.
Yeah, and it's and a couple of jalapeno olives. I'm kind of stuck up when it comes to that. But okay, cocktail of choice. I think I'm gonna go with this summer the Dirty Martini again.
The Dirty Martines, yeah. I kind of have my run on it already. I don't think I'm taking it into the summer.
Although I did start making with fresh lime juice homemade margaritas.
Yes. And a good margarita is tough to beat, especially if you have a really good tequila to go with it. You don't need like $100 tequila to make a good margarita, but no,
just some good Blanco. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the brand.
Yeah, you're. See, I like a clear tequila too.
Yeah, just a good Blanco.
Was it the agave or whatever, blue agave or?
Well, that's the plant. Yeah. But Blanco tequila is the silver, Jose Cuervo silver, Blanco. Whatever depends on the brand.
Yep.
But just a better, not a dirt cheap tequila, but a good tequila, some good triple sec and fresh lime juice. Like squeeze it in there. It's been delicious.
I've been cooking a lot with lime juice lately. Like every time I go to the grocery store, I get like 4 to 6 limes, and they're gone.
Oh, I hit I started buying the big bag of limes at Sam's Club.
I might have to start doing that.
It's
I've been making ice cream with it, which is weird, and I've been making a lot of burritos lately where I make lime cilantro rice, and yeah. A lot of limes. Oh, getting hungry. Let's take a break. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on Review Your Gear Radio. We're back here on Revere Gear Radio. So we're starting a new segment definitely this summer. It's going to be called What's Cooking on the Stone?
What's cooking on the stone?
I love the back cut. We did not plan that, by the way. That just comes natural around here at Revere Gear. The Blackstone. We both have a Blackstone. He had his first. I was jealous, so I had to get one too. And I love it. I use it now, probably 3 times a week.
It's so. Well, I'll start like really hammering on mine probably 4 times a week now that summer's here.
So what's cooking on the stone?
I really found a way to cook fried rice. And my daughter absolutely loves it, except for she hates when I put veggies in it.
Okay.
But I mean, that Blackstone, you do a little sesame oil on there and a little bit of vegetable oil and kind of crisps up that. The other thing I've been doing, and some people are going to cook me for this, but the Hawaiians do this, is they soak Spam in teriyaki overnight. And they dice it, and then they fry it up for their fried rice. And
okay.
It's delicious.
Delicious. That's good Spam. I do not have Spam in my arsenal. I'm not going to lie.
Nobody thinks of it as that way, but I seen like a really high-end sushi chef making fried rice with it. I'm like, God, I'd forgotten about this. So I had to try it. I had to try it. And it's freaking phenomenal. Or I use chicken. But the Spam and shrimp fried rice is awesome.
Nice. I've been doing, like I mentioned earlier, burritos. Is for some reason I'm in a burrito kick. Kids always want my burritos, and that's kind of nice because you can do it all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you doing peppers, onions, kind of fajita vegetables?
No, I don't. I actually do just meat, and then I let the kids decide because it's usually Lisa and I are the only two that actually eat the vegetables. Anyways, they just pick around it. So.
Oh, see, what I'd do is I'd make a bowl then. Because I do the feed of vegetables and do the black beans.
Yep, I do black beans.
And cilantro lime rice, and then do a bowl with it instead of cut a little bit of carbs. I'm trying to cut carbs here and there, not do the whole thing.
Oh, I wrap it, baby. I gotta wrap. But Lisa goes for the bowl. But the rest of us, we wrap. But how do you think?
Do you toast the wrap on the?
I don't. I should. I know they do that at the burrito places, but we just rock it un natural. But how do you think gas prices are going to affect this summer?
Oh, it's just go on your typical social media feed, and everybody's talking about, well, this camping trip's been canceled. Can't do the gas for it, and this camping trip is going to be canceled. I mean, a lot of people aren't. It's expensive to pull a boat and camper and.
Right. I think we already booked, like I said, Dakota Waters. We have a lot this summer and have a few others. Luckily, all of our trips are pretty much, I call them local because an hour and 20 minutes away isn't that bad.
Plus, aren't you leaving yours kind of up there?
Yeah, I'm not bringing it back and forth.
So that saves you freaking how much money in gas?
Yeah, in fact, I may leave my boat up there when I get one and just tarp it, leave it. Yeah. But then what if my luck I'd get hailed on? You know what I mean?
Does hail actually affect
fiberglass?
Fiberglass?
I don't know. My luck is I would get the hail that would.
Ooh, that'd have to be some nasty
but
stuff.
Wind and hail? I mean, it's like it's like throwing rocks at a boat.
I have seen it go through fiberglass toppers on trucks.
Okay.
Like, because the wind pushed them down.
Yep.
That's kind of interesting to see.
So it won't be good. So with that being said, I mention it. I may not leave my boat up there.
Especially if you get a new shiny new bullet,
That's right. That's right. Let's have some headlines. Three men got fined for, harvesting too many carp.
I'm sorry. That's just
In Connecticut is where this happened. They got fined over $4,200 for having well over their daily bag limit for carp.
That's expensive McDonald's fish sandwiches.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is going to be kind of an oxymoron in itself. The river is considered a trophy carp body of water.
Wow, have they been out here and seen the carp?
We've got carp. In fact, if anyone is listening outside of the Dakotas and wants to come shoot carp, we got a bunch. Oh, they took all their rods. They took it all.
Oh, all over carp.
All over carp. You can have only one that's longer than 26 inches, and they had a bunch.
Oh, man. We could probably troll these guys with some pictures of some boats.
Right?
That'd be cruel and unusual punishment, but be hilarious.
And in other news, there's a fungus among us.
Oh, I thought you were going to throw me underneath a bus there or something.
No. Mushroom hunters in Michigan are asked to be very cautious as there are over 50 mushroom species in the state that are toxic, some even fatal.
I'm sorry, but somewheres I'm hearing Beavis and Butthead in the back of my head trying to find the ones that make them hallucinate.
Well, this is actually kind of interesting. There are over 2,500 species of large wild mushrooms that grow in the state of Michigan.
Holy cow. I wonder how that varies from, you look at Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, compared to what we have, out here,
Right. And 60 to 100 of said 2,500 that grow are considered edible. So
you do got good odds.
No, you do not. In other words, if you do not know what that mushroom is, do not eat it. That may save you some trouble or even death.
Ooh, burnt morels. Oh, they're popping around here, I've heard.
I would assume it's still a little cool. I mean, it did get down in the mid-30s today.
Yeah, but oh god, they're delicious.
And yes, for anyone outside of the Dakotas, it did get to the 30s today. During the day. Crazy. So in other news, a Hampton man reels in a rare fish. Not only any fish, but an 800-pound sawfish.
Which is basically looks like it's got a softer nose.
Yes, it looks really kind of like a paddlefish, except it's got little, for lack of a better word, teeth that come out to the sides of the paddle, and they're really not necessarily that aggressive unless, of course, they're captured. Then you don't want to be anywhere near those things.
Dude, one of those sawtooths going in your leg would
saw your leg
out. That is
probably
not cool.
Yeah, but they're not supposedly supposed to be that aggressive, but they are endangered. So they said this was like catching a unicorn.
Literally. It has a horn.
So, wow. I can't take you anywhere.
No, you can't.
And that was the news. So, let's get into a good question. What separates one trolling rod from another?
I think the biggest thing is how, because most of them are either a graphite fiberglass mix or fiberglass mix. To me, it's all about the taper and the fighting power.
Okay. I would have to agree. What's interesting is I talked to you about this the other day. A lot of people, I've seen rod companies go with the twisted eyelet formation, if you will.
It's supposed to give a more direct flow as the rods, because there's, most people are angling them down towards the water. It's supposed to give less resistance to the line going out And then when you do fight a fish, it's supposed to give you better control to the, you know,
Right.
I mean, I do have one salmon rod that has the twisted on it, and for salmon fishing, I'm going to tell you, it doesn't work.
Really?
No, because on a salmon rod, you want that direct bend. But that's just my opinion. It just, I don't know. It's a cool looking rod, but not for me. It's not for now.
I did see the other day someone was doing a review on an Akuma rod that does have that, and they were swearing by it, and they weren't, sponsored or anything.
I think it's the Deadeye trolling rod from them.
It's not meant for walleyes. I guess it's for Lakers and the like, but they said it works fantastic for walleyes. So
wonder if it's meant to be for like the diver rods and stuff to put less, because a lot of those guys are running wire to their divers and then copper rigs. And I'm sure metal and metal, any resistance you can take off those eyelets, got to be, better on it than all that resistance of that, the coppers and the wire diver rigs. So I'm sure that's.
I gotta imagine copper's really hard on eyelets.
It's really hard. In fact, they have the if you don't have like rollers, they recommend only certain eyelets that are like super hard ceramics or something like that.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense. Question: what is the sexiest crankbait stock patterns on the market today?
Boy, I'm telling you, I've seen a couple of the new rumble shads from Northland.
Okay, they have some interesting colors.
They have some different, interesting ones. Pink lemonade to me is always.
It's a great color.
It's a great color. And then it's not. There's some of them aren't always the sexiest, but it seems like Reef Runner always has a few colors that just freaking produce. But it just seems like I know where you're going with this, so I'll let you.
No, go ahead.
The Fleet Farm stuff.
Well, yes. Well, there's a couple of people that have, or a couple of companies, for once, finally, thank you.
Well, Rapala, yeah.
Rapala got their poop in a group, and they started doing some, I don't want to call them custom, but, they got some pretty cool colors. Like, I'm looking at one that looks awful close to that pink lemonade that we like. And various others. So yeah, the Deep Down Husky Jerks have some very new colors this year. We're actually pulling them up right now. I mean, they got the dots. They got this. I mean, they have a lot of custom painted like looks. Now, if you want to talk who gets the nod for the sexiest crankbait patterns on the market, you gotta go to fleetfarm.com and check out their flicker minnows. They're a little hard to find. Literally just go to the search bar, type in flicker minnow, and it's even buried on the second and third page. But when you get in the second and third page, they have I bought so many of these. They have the antifreeze, which are really bright striped colors. Mm-hmm. They have the wildebeest, which is also bright colors that are chrome, so they're reflective. So many.
I like those white clothes with a skeleton on them. Just something about them.
This one here, that one. Yeah, no. Again, they got a lot of really cool colors, and even when I go to the next page, they even have their own Wonder Breads.
God, Wonder Bread was so good on Oahe 10 years ago. Just stupid.
Well, you can bring it back, sir. You can bring it back. But yeah, that's my nod. If you haven't, we're not sponsored, of course, but check out Fleet Farm. The only problem is they don't offer free shipping. You could spend $300. You're paying for the shipping.
Well, the good thing is there's plenty of outlets out there.
Yeah, I know, but they don't have those exclusive colors.
Oh, not in stores?
Oh, when you say outlets, yeah. Well, we don't have one here, so of course we have to order online.
Our listeners are broader than Bismarck.
I know, but they send me emails almost every day with like all these great deals for store pickups, and I want to throw a brick because what am I going to do? Drive to Fargo to
we need a
save a few bucks? Oh, I would love Fleet Farm. Come to Bismarck. So this was an idea. I'm just going to bring up the topic and we'll kick it around, but we're not going to make any decisions on air, of course. But I've been really kicking around the idea of a custom crankbait contest. I would like to solicit a lot of the crankbait painters out there, have them all submit their favorite 1 to 3 designs, and they're not going to be labeled, so you won't know who is which paint. Oh, there goes the dogs. You won't know which painter did which, and let the public vote. I just think
I think it's very cool. I think we could spotlight some guys that aren't exactly known out there. I know a couple guys I'm biased to, but I'm biased.
I agree. But at the same token, I go on marketplaces on Hatebook, and I see all these awesome crankbaits all over the place.
There's a lot of talented artists out there with. I mean, I've half tempted to buy a brush and do it, but then I go, nope.
Yeah, you're not using a brush; it's an airbrush.
I know, an airbrush, but yeah.
Darn kids. Oh, my dog's chasing after one of my 4 cats.
Oh yeah, that's right. You are a super cat guy.
Yeah, we never had cats until a year and a half ago, and now we have 4. Long story. I have kids. Go easy on me. So, planer boards. I love talking planer boards. Now, the best planer boards on the market, if money is no option, it is still the offshores.
Offshore.
Offshore makes the best. The reason why is that, well, they've been around, to my knowledge, the longest. It's like their product didn't change for a while, but then they dialed in some new attachments that make sense. Like, first of all, you want to have, if you buy an offshore planer board, you need to make 2 separate purchases. So that's where I say money is no object, because when it's all said and done, you're spending what? Like, it's $80 a board for these upgrades, correct. Maybe more at full retail. I had to
the tattle flags and the
tattle flags at Shields the other day were $29.99.
Well, that's expensive plastic.
In a spring, I mean, there's not much to it. Anyways, what I'm getting at is you want to buy the OR. I think it's OR 15. I can't remember the model.
The big number. One's the 22.
The big black clip. You want to have it on to tie the main line, and then you got to have a tattle flag. So, like, if your bait is hitting bottom, you can see it on the flag. I mean, things like that. You catch a weed, it'll just pull the flag back enough where you usually can tell. So, yeah, offshore. I have been experimenting with the Ninjas, which is essentially like the offshore, but it has the built-in tattle flag and it has a clip. The only problem, they have like a certain padding on the main clip that over time I'm noticing slips. So they're going to have to fix that. I think their design is there. The idea is there, but now you're having to double wrap it. When I was using them during the big muddy, and then it takes an extra second or 2 to get it off.
They're not as fast as
exactly, because that was the whole point of the Ninjas. You push a button, it opens, and everything releases. Mm-hmm. Close, Ninja peeps. You're close, but you're not quite there. Let's have a Mille Lacs Minute.
This is your Lake Mille Lacs Minute.
Now, typically we have all the regulations in front of us, like prepared normal humans, but I didn't. So I don't even know what the regulation. I know it's fishing opener, so I'm pretty certain you can't keep a fish. What was it, until June, I believe, or something, Or was it
No, you can keep
reverse?
one. You can keep
And then
one.
in June, late June, I think you can't keep
Yeah, June
when the water temps rise.
that and 4th of July. I mean,
Yeah.
when they're
Anyways.
busiest season, you can't keep them. So,
anyways, that's your Mille minute because I'm unprepared and we haven't.
Nothing's really changed. The people are complaining, and
it is what it is. If you're gonna go to Mille, don't expect to fill the freezer.
It's a trophy fish.
You're going for good fish. That's it. So it's hard to get motor replacement parts. So I was with Subi the other day on the river, and he was going slow, and he brought up a good point. He's like, I'm not taking out a lower unit because I'm never going to get one.
Correct. It's just there's nothing available. You don't want to break anything right now because you never know when it's going to get fixed. And, we know some very good mechanics, and I've talked to a couple of them, and it's just like, yeah, it's a nightmare to get parts.
Yeah.
The other thing is it's trolling motors.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at a trolling motor and somebody has it in stock, buy it. Because I don't know if you're going to find it back in stock. It's just like a 112 Ultrex right now doesn't exist. It's a unicorn.
Right.
So, I mean, if you've ordered one, I mean, all the power to you, but you're not going to find one anytime soon. So,
right.
I wonder if this will do one thing though. Because you have the Ghost, and you have the Force out there that are built in with all the bells and whistles for Lowrance and Garmin. I wonder if more people are going to kind of move over to those now because
they're spendy.
They're spendy, but they're available.
That's true, and they're brushless.
And they're brushless. So, I mean, can you imagine the efficiency you hook up a brushless to lithium?
Right. No, you would never charge your batteries.
No. and the one thing that's nice about the Garmin's is if you have two batteries, it runs 24 volts and 80 pounds. You throw 3 batteries on it, it's 36 volt and 100 pounds.
Wow, so that's smart technology.
It adjusts depending on what you have. So let's say you
have a battery go to crap.
Go to crap for the weekend. You're not
screwed.
You're not. Yeah, it's a nice feature.
Right. I agree. Now, this is another good question. Active target versus live target versus, what does Humminbird calls theirs? Mega target?
Mega live.
Mega live. I knew it was
active
close.
Target and live scope.
Live scope. I can't keep track. I mean, I should. I just can't.
That's why you keep me around here.
So I know. I know what I'm getting in my next bow, but it's pretty much Panoptix or Lowrance right now.
Well, and now Garmin went, okay, you two did this, and you have our 5-year-old technology. We're gonna one up you, and they improved theirs. And I'm talking their new system. I think it's called the LS32. I mean, you can tell the fish profiles. I mean,
right. Well, to be fair,
ridiculous.
On active target, you can tell fish profiles as well.
Correct. And the one thing that was great about the Lowrance over Panoptix Gen 1 was there was less interference. Now, Panoptix Gen 2, they've toned down the interference, but then they've dialed up they've almost taken like the mega side imaging from Humminbird, the details from that, and moved that into live scope. It is that detailed.
Interesting.
So the problem is it's nearly impossible
to get.
The Shields guys got like 3 units in, and they were gone in 5 minutes.
Right.
The guys that want them got them. I'm pretty sure 2 of them went to Shields employees. But, I mean,
right.
I don't know for sure.
Well, whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is.
But I'm curious to see how now, Brown Cow, the other 2 companies catch up. I mean, I'm just wondering what they're going to do to now catch up to live scope technology.
Okay. Fair enough.
But
Well-
I'm a little biased. I've always kind of been
I know you
partial
are.
to Garmin.
I know you have.
Nobody gives them enough credit around here. But
Well, it's a Ford or Chevy debate in some regards, but
Ford, Chevy, Dodge.
yeah,
Because you got the three.
I know, but you get
Yeah,
my
I
point.
know.
You had to throw Dodge in there, didn't
Yeah, I had to throw Dodge.
So
Difficult.
we're gonna wrap it up here with one of the most important questions here on Review Your Gear, which is typically food. What is the best ice cream flavor of all time? All time. Like if you're like, if I could bring back anything.
So, you didn't move to town in time. We had a little creamery on 13th Street down by my house.
Okay. What was it called?
Schultz's Creamery.
Okay.
Just this little creamery. Make great cheese, but they also made ice cream out of there. They had the absolute best banana split ice cream.
Hmm.
It had maraschino cherries in it. It had strawberry chocolate swirled into it with like walnuts in it into really good banana ice cream. And I used to drive my bike up there for a quarter. You had 2 big scoops of it for a quarter. And I've yet to find a banana split ice cream in any other brand that touches that.
Well, banana split ice cream is not very common anyways.
No.
Okay.
I think Breyers has one, and maybe Dean's Foods has one.
Yeah, I'm not a big Dean's ice cream guy anyways.
No.
Lisa hates Blue Bunny too. Like my wife is very picky with her ice cream.
Well, yeah, she's an ice cream expert.
Yeah, my wife is a connoisseur for sure. For me, it was Baskin Robbins because back in the day we had one in Fargo. My favorite was daiquiri ice. It was bluish green. It had a tart. I can't explain it. It was just awesome. And when they made it into a clown cone, remember the clown cones at Baskin Robbins?
Wow.
Even better. So you had the frosting. Oh, that rich frosting with that ice cream. The best. I love it so much. Recently, as you know, I've been starting to make it. We got a Ninja Creamy for Christmas. My wife did. And my wife got the creamy, but guess who does all the ice cream making?
You.
That would be me. And I figured out through Google and some experimentation, I made a pretty darn close daiquiri ice cream. So,
and that's the other company that back in the day, I remember we had Baskin Robbins in Bismarck. I know for a fact because I just cleaned out some gallon containers from my parents' house that were Baskin. But they had a banana ice cream that was really good there too.
Okay.
So I do remember that. So I kind of like my banana ice cream. So
and that's not very common to get banana ice cream.
No. A little strange in that fact. Now my go-to is always strawberry. Strawberry.
Okay. Well, it's good to be back in the booth.
It's good to be back. It's going to be a good summer.
It's going to be. We have a lot of guests coming up here in the next few episodes. Stay tuned to that. Some new guests and a couple of old coming back.
They're not that old.
No, I mean old. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. You know, I had to throw the down.
Yeah, you did. I'm not picking up sarcasm as good tonight. I'm Chris Houston.
I'm Jason Renner.
And this was your review.
We can't even end it.
Can't even end it. And this was Review Your Gear.
Thanks for tuning in to Review Your Gear Radio. Be sure to tune in next episode, and don't forget to check out reviewyourgear.com. Also check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Till next time, tight lines and good times in the outdoors.